In ChatGPT, there's a feature that I find quite practical called Project. Previously, it was only available to paid users. But yesterday, OpenAI made this feature available to free users as well. Actually, the Project feature is quite similar to the GPT's feature. Both of these features allow you to customize a bot, a chatbot, where you can preset the prompt and upload files in advance. However, there are some differences. So, if you're a free user, you can only use GPTs that others have designed. If you want to create your own custom GPT, you need to be a paid user. Therefore, now free users can use the project feature to achieve something similar to what GPTs offer. To put it simply, although GPTs and projects are quite similar, there are some differences. GPTs have a bit more functionality, and the original idea behind GPTs is to design a bot that you can then share with others for them to use. Projects, on the other hand, are more geared towards being used by yourself. So why create a project? Often, as your conversations increase, you might want to organize them into categories. For example, when you're doing homework, you may need to gather a lot of information on a specific topic to write a paper. Or, like me, recently, I've been researching what kind of insurance to buy in Hong Kong. In that case, I can create a new project, and you can name this project anything you like. And you can also change the color of this icon. After creating a project, it will appear on the left side. Think of it as a folder, and inside this folder, you can store different conversations. You can also add some of your existing conversations to this project as a way to categorize them by clicking the three dots. Of course, if you enter this project and have conversations inside, those conversations will naturally be placed within this project inside this folder. So besides categorization, what else can you do? What else? After entering the project, if you click the button in the top right corner, you can modify the default instructions for this project. For example, since this project is for researching which insurance to buy, I tell it that it must use information from this insurance website to answer my insurance questions. Also, for every answer, it must cite which page of the website the information was found on, because I need to verify that the information is correct. By the way, that's one of the features of projects. On Rock and Perplexity, they actually have similar features. On Perplexity, it's called Space. So what's the biggest difference in ChatGPT's project? It's that within this project scope, it has its own independent memory. Since I've already set up the instructions, I just type here and tell it. I'm male, 42 years old, non-smoker, any recommendations? In this prompt, I didn't specify that I'm buying insurance, but because at the project level, I've already which is set an instruction, right? So in theory, I don't need to mention insurance explicitly anymore. It already knows that I'm probably asking about insurance information. Here, based on my request, every time it replies, it must reference information from this insurance website. Then based on the website's information, it recommends different insurance products to me. As I mentioned earlier, within the project scope, it has memory. Now I'm going back to this project and starting a new conversation. Here, I ask it, first, list your understanding of me, and then recommend tax-deductible products. In the reply, you'll see that it knows I'm a 42-year-old male and a non-smoker. That's because, if you look back, I mentioned this information before in a previous conversation within the project. So, based on this background information, it provided me with some tax-deductible insurance products. Next, I'm going to start a new conversation. Now, this conversation isn't within the project, right? Here, I do the same thing and ask it. List out what it knows about me. Now you'll notice that the memory within the project is independent. Since I'm now asking questions outside the scope of the project, the information I mentioned earlier, my age, gender, and non-smoking status, when I go back to a normal conversation, it won't remember those details. So through this simple demonstration, you can see that the biggest difference between the ChatGPT projects feature and the project features of other tools is that the more you interact with it, the more it understands you, and its responses will become more and more tailored to your needs. In other words, personalization. This is also why I can't leave chat, because I've been using ChatGPT since the very first day the paid version was launched, and up until now, I've accumulated over 2 years of conversations with it. Its responses are really closely aligned with what I need. So, if you asked me to switch to another AI tool, I would really find it hard to get used to. Actually, among all the free tools, ChatGPT's features are already quite comprehensive. Among all the tools I've used, it has the most features, so I highly recommend everyone to use it. The only slight inconvenience is that you need to use a VPN. If you want to fully learn how to apply AI at work to boost your efficiency, you're welcome to join our AI Upgrade and Transformation workshop on September 20th. In the class, you'll not only understand the underlying principles of AI, like why it's bad at calculations or why it sometimes hallucinates, but there will also be plenty of exercises for you to learn through practice. In this class, we'll also learn about practical applications, including how to use RAG. So, what is RAG? It's about enabling AI to first reference your company's data before answering your questions, which helps reduce the chances of AI hallucinations. Besides BT, we'll also cover other AI tools, such as Manus, Gen, SPA, and similar AI agents. You'll also learn how to use AI to generate images and create PowerPoint presentations, among other things. If you're interested in learning more, feel free to click the link below the video. The special offer will end the day after tomorrow. See you in class.